today we have gathered here to do the Puja of Easter. In the history of spirituality, it is one of the greatest days when we find Christ rose from the dead. It's very significant and symbolic that in search of our soul, what we have done is to rise from the dead into life. It's to be understood that resurrection is the message for all of us, of the whole world. We have to resurrect ourselves. There was no need for Jesus to do that. But he was a model of a saint, model of a realized soul, model of a person who came all the way from the heavens to save us. So this resurrection is also part and parcel of all of us. It is so symbolic, so very symbolic, that we were in our consciousness lost people. We had no control over ourselves. It was to go the way our mind told us. We had no balance with the mind and our physical being, no balance of any kind in life. And we used to go at random, whichever way we thought was good. There was no wisdom about it. And it is Jesus was the incarnation of Sri Ganesha. It's a very difficult task he has performed. It's to convince people who were absolutely ignorant about spirituality, who just knew about money and nothing else. He came in those days when people had no idea about spirituality at all. But somehow it all worked out in such a beautiful manner that people have started understanding that he communicated that resurrection is the important. He knew when the resurrection takes place. The Kundalini rises and connects you to the divine power which is all pervading. Then you start understanding that there is a life beyond the life that you have been living. There is another type of life, higher type of life, which connects you to the divine power. And then this divine power gives you the absolute truth. If you grow more and more, you will know absolute truth. Because so far we don't know. So we have been doing wrong things, doing in the wrong way, getting lost. Also we are listening to people who were just boasting and were saying they know about the truth. But when you yourself discover the truth, you are a different person. Your discovery is so innate and so real that you discard all that is untruth. Very easily you can discard it, and you don't find it difficult to get rid of it. In this conference, as you know, we have more of Muslim people, Islamic people, who have been so much misguided all over the world. They have been told all kinds of stories and hatred among people for others. This Islamic force is growing from bad to worse, and people want to believe it. Especially in my country, there is a very, very big problem with these Islamic influence, because they are nowhere near Islam. They have nothing to do with Muhammad. But they are thinking that they are correct and what they are doing is correct. They are trying to spread Muslim religion. What's the use? What is the purpose? I can't understand. Unless and until you get your realization, you are a useless human being, good for it. You can hate others, you can beat others, you can kill others. And it's going on all over the world. It's a private thing that all this nonsense is going on everywhere in the world in the name of Muhammad. So in one shot, one side you put Christ or another crucifixion, on the other side Muhammad or his crucifixion. They cannot fight, you see. They are on the same line, they are on the same understanding. How can they fight? But their disciples are fighting so badly all over that sometimes it really pains you when you hear about how people are fighting for nonsense. In his life, Christ did not marry. He did not. He never needed also. He did not marry. And at a very young age, he was crucified. That crucifixion shows that he was not afraid of death. And he knew that he would resurrect. This he had to go through the Agya Chakra. Agya Chakra, as you know, is very constructive. And through that construction, he had to go through, for which he had to get killed. And he accepted that. He accepted with full heart that that's the ordeal he has to go through. In the same way, your sanskara can be only achieved through the Agya, and the Agya has to be approved. But for that, you don't have to get angry, you don't have to be crucified, but you have to crucify your ego. The first point is ego. You have such ego that you cannot get rid of it. We have subtle and subtle ways of having egos. Right, I come from this country, so I must have it. I come from this kind of family, I must have it. All kinds of stupid things they do, which are really sinful, and they think they are very great and they have ego. This ego you have to fight, otherwise your resurrection is not possible. Your attention cannot pass through the Agya Chakra. As long as you have such identification, it will not work. It's a very subtle happening, very subtle happening that you should see your own ego. After realization, I said, you know yourself. The first thing you will know is that you have too much of conditioning and too much of it. Like in India, I find people have so much conditioning of their so-called rituals. Very ritualistic. Everything is a ritual to them, and they cannot get out of it. That's all the conditioning is. But ego is the worst part in the West, more in the West, where I don't know what they think of themselves. In that ego, they get lost. And they cannot see what's wrong with them, with their own community, with their own people who claim to be some such and such. So this ego has really dominated so much. So far in the history, so many countries, nations have been really tortured and butchered because of the ego of something. Once they will realize how horrible they have been, how satanic they have been, how aggressive they have been, they'll give it up. But they have to realize, and for that I said, you have to have your resurrection. Without the resurrection, you will not know at all. You will not be conscious of what wrong you have done. It is very surprising how people go on to doctors, advertise them, and come out as heroes. When I read the newspapers, I say, these are all stupid people all around. Absolutely very stupid in the sense that they have no understanding of what they are doing. They are just killing people enjoying the killing. They are so violent, it is impossible to understand what sort of life they are going to have after death, even before death. In this whole thing, if you see the whole picture of the world, you will find all such countries who are still fighting for nonsense are very, very poor, are having very bad time, and they are about to be completely finished. But they don't want to see why they are suffering, why, what's happening, what is the problem. In the countries where there are affluence, lots of affluence, they also got lost. They too need resurrection. They have to rise above materialism and see for themselves what they are doing is wrong. They are like actually cheats. They are cheating the society all the time. I think the whole economics is based on cheating, how you can cheat people. And in that cheating, you don't even realize that you are doing something to make people so insecure. So this money business also is such that it makes you very greedy and you start giving too much importance to money. This is one thing to be understood from the life of Christ. He was a very simple, poor man, son of a carpenter. And to him money was nothing but an absolutely useless thing. To him spirit was everything. And he was preaching and telling people that you must have spiritual awakening. Very important. Try to understand that there is life beyond all this, and then you should get the best results out of this life, which you are just wasting.